A wooden sculpture that helps tie together a Quad City community is missing tonight, likely in the possession of thieves as the owner works to get it back. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jason Fechner.
And I'm Rachel Davis. Thank you for joining us. Details on the sculpture theft in just a moment. But first, as he turns his jobs plan over for a vote, President Barack Obama is urging Congress to act on it immediately. Surrounded by the men and women he says will be helped by his $447 billion jobs package, Mr. Obama said this afternoon that only politics would prevent his bill from being passed. In an unusual move, the White House actually drafted the legislation that will be sent to the Hill tonight.
This is a bill that will put people back to work all across the country. This is the bill that will help our economy in a moment of national crisis. This is a bill that is based on ideas from both Democrats and Republicans. And this is the bill that Congress needs to pass. No games, no politics, no delays.
We have been told that Congress now has that bill to pay for the jobs plan. The president's budget director, Jack Lew, says the Obama administration wants to raise some taxes on the wealthy and businesses, collecting $20 billion more than the actual cost of the bill.
News of the president's plan being sent to Congress did little to help today's market. Stocks on Wall Street traded lower almost all day today, but did rally in the final few minutes to end with solid gains. Overseas, though, Japanese shares dropped heavily over renewed worries about Europe's debt crisis. That plunge was buoyed by U.S. stocks closing sharply lower at the end of what was a very rough week last week. Stocks had tumbled 3% in the first 90 minutes of trading Tuesday morning, and on Wednesday closed almost 3% higher and dropped almost 3% on Friday.
Tonight, the men and women hoping to take control of the White House from President Obama will debate for the second time in less than a week. The debate is likely to focus on current frontrunner Rick Perry and former frontrunner Mitt Romney. ABC's John Hendren has a preview.
Romney enters tonight's GOP face-off with the endorsement of the day.
Next President of the United States, Governor Mitt Romney.
Former Minnesota Governor Tim Pawlenty, who dropped out of the race last month, is backing the establishment candidate.
He is the most capable, most knowledgeable, most electable candidate.
Romney could use the help as he enters tonight's Republican presidential debate. Polls have him trailing Texas Governor Rick Perry, the man Romney targets in this new ad, pointing out Perry calls Social Security a Ponzi scheme. Democrats are piling on with this new ad targeting both.
Call it anything other than a Ponzi scheme. It is.
Mitt Romney would privatize it, gambling with Social Security in a volatile stock market.
Rivals call the polls meaningless.
Polls indicate the flavor of the week. My people don't show up in some of those polls because they are either working or looking for a job.
Early days. Months to go before people really begin to pay attention to this race.
Tonight, it is Perry who will be playing defense. Other new candidates before him, Donald Trump, Herman Cain, and Michelle Bachmann, have each seen their poll numbers rise, then fall as voters' early affection faded.
What Rick Perry has is somebody that marries the enthusiasm of the Tea Party and the Tea Party language and rhetoric with the executive experience and a record on creating jobs.
Perry got a compliment from an unusual source. President Obama told another network he's been governor of a big state and said he and Romney are both credible candidates. John Hendren, ABC News, Washington.
The CNN Tea Party Republican debate airs tonight at 7 o'clock on CNN. News 8's Rebecca Smith is attending a local Tea Party meeting and will have their reaction tonight at 10.
In order to maintain its first-in-the-nation status, Iowa's caucuses may have to move up to December. According to the Republican National Committee rules, Iowa, of course, is the first state to hold a caucus. But at least 3 other states are looking to move their dates before February. Scott County Republican Chairwoman Judy Davidson told News 8 that moving up the caucuses would be a step back.
To change those sites that have been selected for the February 6th date to the December date. So we would start with that, and then we would have to gear everything up closer in terms of getting our caucus training. We have a caucus training currently scheduled for January. We would have to do that obviously closer. It's okay.
The Iowa GOP chairman says he remains cautiously optimistic that the February date will stay in place.
It could feel like December in just a matter of days, at least overnight, but right now it feels a lot like summer.
Yeah, pretty balmy out there. Storm teammates Terry Swale is joining us now with more on a first look at the forecast. A little something for everyone this week, Terry.
Yeah, certainly in terms of temperatures, a wide range of readings expected around the area. Today we were summer-like with our highs well up into the 80s, but things will definitely be cooling down as two fronts come across the Midwest over the next 48 to 72 hours. And the first front, which is now way up in Minnesota, not really producing anything in the way of precipitation, so it's going to be a dry front as it moves through, but temps will be down about 10 to 15 degrees tomorrow. The secondary front, which arrives on Wednesday, will knock readings down another 10 degrees, and that means by Thursday, highs might not get out of the 50s, and scattered frost is a possibility up in our northern counties. And of course, that's something we'll be talking a lot more about in the forecast coming up.
Thank you, Terry. A Davenport couple is struggling to cope with the loss of a loved one tonight. Sometime early Sunday morning, someone stole their beloved wooden bear from their front yard in West Davenport. Now they're searching for answers, and the community is joining them. News 8's Kurt Liskey has further details.
And there's Pilgrim, and there's Santa.
Gone without a trace, a popular Davenport landmark disappears.
We come home Saturday night, and that bear was still there at 11:30. And Gail went out to get the paper the next morning, and the bear was gone.
I was just shocked when I opened up the door yesterday morning, and it was gone.
At home for more than 14 years at the corner of Locust and Clark Streets, the bear stolen on the 10-year anniversary of 9/11.
We get mail, phone calls, all kinds of things.
Sometimes, like on Valentine's Day, when I dress it up, I might get a Valentine for the bear, and Christmas cards sometimes for the addressed to the bear. Yeah. It's almost like one of my kids.
They've filed a police report, and now the search is on for a solid oak bear standing 6 feet tall, weighing in at over 500 pounds.
Somebody took it. Somebody's got it. They know where it's at.
This may sound like a joke, the story of a missing bear, but all across the Quad Cities, dozens, if not more, are already spreading the word, even making monetary donations, all trying to bring back this iconic bear.
I just don't, it's hard to grasp.
Word is spreading fast about the missing bear. During our interview this morning, an unidentified neighbor dropped off $100, saying they'll do whatever they can to bring back this massive icon.
So maybe I should check the hospital to see if anybody report for a hernia.
Yeah. In Davenport, Kurt Liskey, WQAD HD News 8.
Thanks so much, Kurt. The owners of the missing bear say if you have any knowledge of their missing sculpture, please contact the Davenport Police Department. And they say if the bear returns, they'll donate any money that was given them to a local charity.
Another Quad City bridge under construction tonight, although instead of lane closures, this one is closed altogether. The Turkey Hollow Road Bridge will remain closed until December during construction. Detours are now posted, though everyone's advised to just try to avoid that section of Turkey Hollow Road altogether. Crews also warned to watch for construction trucks entering and leaving the area. There will also be occasional lane closures on John Deere Road in Moline under the Skywalk in October. Crews are now working to replace the plexiglass with some chain link as part of a city project to clean up areas of blight. That work is expected to take a few weeks to complete.
Students from Western Illinois University got a real-life lesson in space travel this afternoon. Former astronaut Leroy Chow told Moline students about his outer space adventures. He flew with the space shuttle several times and spent more than 6 months aboard the International Space Station. He says it's important for the U.S. to build international and commercial deals to keep space travel in motion.
That's important for a nation because I think the reason a nation gets into this business is number one for national prestige, so the nation can be proud of itself, and also as a technology driver and as an inspiration to young people.
Dr. Chow says he thinks it will be at least 5 years before the U.S. will soar into space again.
Nearly 2 decades now after her death, we are hearing Jacqueline Kennedy unscripted and completely candid for the first time. The former First Lady recorded a series of audio tapes revealing her most memorable experiences in the White House. ABC's Diana Alviar lets us listen in.
Then he'd always come in before he went over to the office.
It's Jacqueline Kennedy in her own words, her oral history in a series of recordings never before heard until this Diane Sawyer exclusive. The year is 1964. A recently widowed First Lady describes her years in the White House. In one recording, Jacqueline recalled begging her husband to let her stay with him during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
I said, even if there's not room in the bomb shelter in the White House, which I'd seen, I said, please, then I just want to be on the lawn when it happens. No, but I just want to be with you, and I want to die with you, and the children do too, and live without you.
She also revealed her husband did not support a Lyndon B. Johnson presidency.
It's funny because she was really fond of Lyndon Johnson. She found him really amusing and warm-hearted.
Daughter Caroline Kennedy compiled the unedited recordings in a new book.
I can hear her voice in my mind. Oh, I can't believe I said that, or I wish I'd added something, or I changed my mind later. But I think it's really important to realize the value as well as the limitations of an oral history. And once you start making changes, it's what do you do? And it's not my oral history.
There are lighter moments as well that show what life was like in the White House with young children.
I always thought it was so funny for people who used his bathroom that men could use after dinner, because all along his tub were all these little floating animals, ducks and pink pigs and things.
Diana Alvear, ABC News.
And you can hear more of the recordings during Diane Sawyer's special Jacqueline Kennedy in Her Own Words tomorrow night at 8 o'clock right here on WQAD. Jacqueline Kennedy, Historic Conversations on Life with John F. Kennedy will also be available in stores this Wednesday.
SpongeBob SquarePants is in hot water after a study showed it may be bad for children. A study suggests that watching just 9 minutes of the cartoon can cause short-term attention and learning problems in 4-year-olds. The study compared the mental function of 60 children who either watched SpongeBob or Caillou, a slower-paced PBS cartoon, or drew pictures. The results suggest that those who watched SpongeBob scored measurably worse. A spokesperson for Nickelodeon questions the study, stating that SpongeBob is aimed at 6 to 11-year-olds, not 4-year-olds.
Still ahead tonight, the animals living in the zoo in Tripoli making a comeback after the rebel outbreak.
We'll check in on the lions, tigers, and hippos struggling to survive after being nearly abandoned for the last few weeks.
And leave that little guy alone and he might just eat every rock in sight. Harley, the pebble-eating pug, still ahead.
And today's Facebook friend of the day is Jamie Sass of Davenport, Iowa. According to her profile, Jamie is inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, her parents, and Jerry Springer. Thanks for liking us, Jamie. You're watching News 8 at 5.
I'm the best TV spokesman ever. See that tiny little sentence? Based on the study of one individual's opinion, me. That's a legal disclaimer. Legal disclaimers are where ads sometimes hide things they don't want you to notice. It's the advertising equivalent of having your fingers crossed. But when you're talking about a legit product like a Honda, you can be a little more upfront. Observe. Honda received more 2011 J.D. Power and Associates highest initial quality awards than any other automaker. Well, let's see. Based on a survey of over 73,000 new vehicle owners measuring 234 models, highest ranked in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. Legal disclaimers don't get any better than that. Man, those lawyers are having a field day. Trademarked Honda logo. Go. Come see the wide selection and great offers at your Honda dealer today.
My sister's new boyfriend told her that he thinks Sundays are just for watching football. Believe that?
Remain calm. Answering incorrectly has consequences. But you're smart, right? You ordered off McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast, got the premium roast coffee, the savory sausage burrito. Everything's so good and just $1 each. You made it happen, so you got this.
He's a jerk.
Well played. McDonald's dollar menu at breakfast. The simple joy of being smart.
You know, Focus is one of 3 Ford cars that get at least 40 miles per gallon. No one else offers more. And we're relentlessly inventing technology to take you further, offering high fuel economy and responsive performance, both without compromise. Now, drive a fuel-efficient Ford Fusion with 0% financing for 60 months. Drive one at your local Ford store.
Tonight, do you know your family history when it comes to breast cancer? You should. There's new information that could protect you and the women in your family. Tonight, an important medical alert on World News with Diane Sawyer on ABC.
You're watching News 8 at 5 with Jason Beckner, Rachel Davis, and Storm Teammate Weather with meteorologist Terry Swales. WQAD HD News continues.
A Rhode Island pug is in the running for the most unusual pet health insurance claim of the year after eating 100 rocks.
It's not good for your heart. This is Harley. After coming home from being boarded up at the vet for the weekend, his owner, Lori, noticed that Harley was passing rocks. When he started convulsing, Lori took him back to the vet where x-rays showed dozens of rocks in his stomach.
He probably downed all these rocks in about 10 minutes. Not even. He's part pug, part Hoover, I guess.
Harley recovered it and is doing just fine. However, his chance at the Hambone Award for the most unusual pet health insurance claim is now being challenged by a Chihuahua who got picked up by an owl looking for food.
The recent violence in Libya put the animals at Tripoli Zoo in the crossfire, but after weeks of severe neglect, international funds are now pouring in to help them. CNN's Jill Daugherty explains how the money is being used.
In a city slashed by war, a tiger fights for life.
And the vitamins, please.
Osama, a Siberian tiger at the Tripoli Zoo, has been suffering for days. Do you know why he's so sick?
Honestly, I don't know. We came some few days here, but I believe he is old, number one. Number two, it was a lot of stress in the surrounding here.
During the battle for Tripoli, there was shooting just outside the zoo. Humans fled. The animals didn't have that option.
RPG is coming from outside, just on the surface, and make a big hole in large mammal house.
The zoo's director, Dr. Abdul Fattah Husni, leads us to the mammal house.
Oh, yes. Wow. So that came right through the roof?
Yes, through the roof, yes.
But none of the animals were injured?
No, no animal injured, no animal died.
For 2 weeks, there was no water in Tripoli, a disaster for the hippos who had to survive on what little stagnant water was left in their pool.
So as you see now, they are shiny, they are good, they want water, they are swimming normally, it's no problem.
Shells still litter the zoo grounds.
And this also,
right here,
yes,
in
right
the
here.
zoo.
It's coming from outside, you know.
So just all over the place?
This is for Kalashnikov, you know Kalashnikov?
Yes. At the height of the conflict, 15 of the staff came here every day to feed and water the animals, risking their own lives to do it. And if they hadn't, many of these animals would have died within 3 or 4 days.
One empty seating like this I will need.
Dr. Amir Halil from an international animal rescue team rushed here from Vienna to help after seeing CNN reports about the fate of these animals.
He's finished. He don't succeed.
Did he die?
It was too late. Yes.
He just died?
Yeah. It was too late.
Tripoli Zoo was being rebuilt when the war started. The director hopes that will continue. There'll be exchanges with zoos around the world, he says, something that stopped during the Gaddafi regime, bringing new animals unscarred by war. Jill Daugherty, CNN, Tripoli.
The zoo's director says Gaddafi's sons visited the zoo often, even during the rebel uprising.
And this will be one of those weeks where temperatures are going to go way down and then eventually go back up. But when we're down, we're going to really be down, even the chance of some scattered frost by the end of the week, and we'll talk more about it in your most accurate forecast next.
If you're looking for a pickup truck, check out the miles per gallon, the length of the powertrain warranty, and the horsepower. Only Ram delivers this kind of muscle. That'll thin out the herd real quick. Guts, glory, Ram.
Applebee's 2 for $20 is back and fresher than ever. Whoa.
Hey, Chris. Hi, Jesse.
Hey.
Ready to order?
Yep, 2 for $20.
1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and layers of fresh flavor. So, who's paying this week?
Call it in the air. Tails. Pony up, Palmer. So come on in for new favorites like new creamy chicken fettuccine carbonara, new bruschetta chicken, or classics like the 7-ounce house sirloin. That's 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, $20. You got off easy, my friend. It's the freshest 2 for $20 yet, only at Applebee's. Now serving half-price appetizers late night.
He's got the great looks and a style so clear. You're gonna love the view from here.
Find your look
look at Vision for Less. You'll get the same great designer styles for hundreds less than you will from your optometrist. Striking selection, eye-catching styles, attractive prices, like 2 complete pairs of designer styles for just $78.61. Vision for Less.
You're gonna love the view from here.
Save time and gas with our free home try-on. Go online, visionforless.com.
Dare to compare the vehicles Iowa and Illinois drive. Compare gas mileage. Chevy offers more models than Toyota that get 30 miles per gallon or more. And no one has more Consumers Digest Best Buys than Chevy. Plus, every Chevy is backed by America's best warranty, 100,000 miles or 5 years. That's better than Ford and Toyota. Take a test drive and see why. Chevy runs deep in Iowa and Illinois. Deary Brothers, Erickson, Bruce Foote, Green, Cunis, Lou Jacks.
Cancer takes more than 1,500 lives every day.
Trinity's Cancer Aware Assessment is dedicated to cancer prevention and screening.
2/3 of all cancer deaths could be prevented.
Trinity has the most experience in cancer prevention research.
Early detection and treatment are the best ways to beat cancer.
Trinity's cancer team includes expert physicians and a personal guide who's with you every step of the way. Together, we can stop a killer.
It's the Iowa Lottery's Great State Tailgate Promotion. Your scratch ticket could win up to $10,000. Join our free VIP club at ialottery.com to enter non-winning tickets for a chance to win an ultimate tailgating trailer with HD TV, satellite, even a grill. Custom finished to cheer on your team. 5 $1,000 prizes too. See the trailer in person at this great Iowa college football game. Then get your ticket for a chance to win. It's the Iowa Lottery's Great State Tailgate. Woohoo!
Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV ever. And Jeep Wrangler has an all-new powertrain with improved fuel economy, a refined, quiet interior, best-in-class maneuverability and ground clearance. And with some of the year's best deals, there's a lot to celebrate. The Jeep Celebration event, featuring the newest lineup of trail-rated SUVs.
During the Jeep Celebration event, get 0% APR for 60 months or $3,000 cash allowance on 2011 Jeep Liberty.
Welcome back to News 8 at 5. A summer-like day, one of the warmer ones we've had in the last few weeks.
Very dry air, lots of sunshine, and the temperatures took off, and we've climbed well into the 80s. But just as quick as we warmed up, we're going to cool it down here later this week as a couple of fronts drop those temperatures. And here's a look outside, and our skies are nice and sunny, and the temperature's warm, as you mentioned, and it looks like we'll keep a nice mild night in here, but towards daybreak, a front will come across the area, and that's phase 1 of this cool down that'll get underway in the next 48 hours. Take a look at the radar right now. Nothing showing up around eastern Iowa or western Illinois, way up in northern Wisconsin and Minnesota. Isolated showers and storms, but they are destined to stay up there, as that's where the better moisture and dynamics will be found with this first front. On the satellite imagery, there you can see some of the clouds that are scraping northern Minnesota and now heading towards extreme northwestern Wisconsin. And right back up in here, that's the cool air that'll be dropping southward as it develops and moves in our general direction. Now our temperature is at 85 in the Quad Cities. That's after an afternoon high of 86 degrees. Our winds are out of the south-southwest with some gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. And around the area tonight, a lot of temperatures in the low to mid 80s, and Wapello actually reporting in at 90 degrees. There's Monmouth and Galesburg at 88. Sterling Rock Falls tonight, you're checking in with a reading of 84. And temperatures are back up again down over the southern plains days today, nearly 100 in Oklahoma City, Dallas at 102 degrees. But this time around, that heat's going to get snipped off by a couple of strong fronts that'll be moving across the country, and we'll show you more on that in just a minute. For today, though, the storm track is coming in out of the southwest, so that's allowing the mild air to flood into the middle of the country. But some very chilly air that's been building in Canada is going to make a burst south and east and overspread the Midwest over the next 2 days. And the first wave of that is in this front here, which is now approaching northwestern Iowa. Just so limited moisture, this thing is not really going to produce anything in the way of precipitation or clouds as it comes through, but it will switch the winds to the north and west. Then, later Tuesday night and Wednesday, a secondary front comes through here, and that's the one that has the big chill associated with that. It'll send this front all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, and then this big high pressure takes up residence over the upper Midwest, and we're going to get a real healthy taste of some October-like temperatures here as the week progresses. And there is even the chance that by the time we get to Thursday morning, some readings in our northern counties could be cold enough for some patchy frost. 20s are expected way up here in northern Minnesota and probably into northern Wisconsin. And another cool night expected as we get towards Friday night. But finally, as the high pressure moves off to the east of us, our winds will turn around to the south and temperatures should warm up again for the upcoming weekend, at least closer to what you'd expect to see this time of year. 59 for tonight's low, a few clouds around, winds out of the west-southwest. And then for tomorrow, about 74 degrees, so that's noticeably cooler from where we were today, but still a pretty nice day with lots of sunshine. And then as we get into the forecast here that goes deeper into the week, notice what happens, only 64 degrees on Wednesday. Thursday, our northern counties probably not even getting out of the 50s for highs, and our nighttime lows here in the Quad Cities will drop back into the upper 30s, but there will be some spots, the low-lying valleys up in northeastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois, that have a chance of getting down around 32 to 34 degrees, and some scattered frost will be a possibility up that way. Signs of fall, folks. It's coming.
After pulling the old air conditioner out of the bedroom a couple weeks ago, today was not fun.
Well, you shouldn't have to suffer too long. There's the good news for you.
To it. Thank you, Terry. Up next tonight, the guy behind the guy or the gal behind the guy or gal gets his or her Emmy ahead of time. We'll explain.
I hope so. And we'll take you to a special 9/11 ceremony honoring the four-legged heroes who helped in the days after the attacks. That's next.
And tonight at 6, just how bad have Asian carp gotten in parts of the mighty Miss? We'll put the nets out tonight. New on News 8 at 6.
News 8 is sponsored in part by 5-Star Salon Spa.
You asked for it, America. Pizza Hut's $10 any deal is back. Any pizza, any size, any crust, any toppings is now just $10 when you carry out. That's right, the $10 any deal is back. But hurry in, this deal is for a limited time only at your Pizza Hut.
Introducing Toyota Care, the first complimentary maintenance plan offered by any full-line brand. And for 2 years or 25,000 miles, your factory-scheduled service is included. Oil change? Covered. Tire rotation? Covered. Multi-point inspection? Covered. Plus 24-hour roadside assistance. Cost? Nothing. Now that fits your budget. Everything you need, only better. Toyota.
Save big when you invest in a new energy-saving home comfort system from TMI.
Pointing you in the right direction.
Mid-American Energy is putting the power to use energy more efficiently in our hands, helping with the big things and pointing out the little things that add up to make a difference, like cleaning lint traps, changing furnace filters, and using smart power strips. With Mid-American, energy efficiency is always within reach. The power's in our hands. With Mid-American Energy.
Okay, this is it, the Built Ford Tough Sales Event. And in this corner, America's most fuel-efficient pickups. Featuring F-150 with exclusive EcoBoost technology that delivers the power and MPGs the so-called contenders can't. Plus, it's ranked highest in initial quality in its class. Now that's a 1-2 knockout punch.
Get an F-150 with 0% financing for 60 months, plus 1,000 trade-in cash and 1,000 bonus cash.
Today could be the day.
The day when you no longer have to live with bad, unhealthy teeth.
The day when years of embarrassment ends.
The day when the pain stops. The day that you call Aspen Dental.
Right now, new patients get a smile exam and x-rays for $19. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Today is a good day to start smiling again.
Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL. Make an appointment today.
Meyer Landscape and Design Garden Centers will be full of fresh plants bursting with color. Visit our website for valuable information, services, sales, and seminars throughout the season at Meyer Landscape and Design.
We gave the Chevy Traverse the most cargo space in its class for one simple reason.
All right, have fun.
To leave you plenty of room to be yourself.
Send hunger packing with Pizza Hut's Mighty Pizzone, now just $5. Packed with cheese and toppings baked in a golden crust. Choose from pepperoni, meaty, or Supremo. The most flavorful way to satisfy the biggest appetite. The Mighty Pizzone, only $5, only at your Pizza Hut.
Before the Emmys are handed out on Sunday night, the folks who work behind the scenes will have their statuettes already in hand.
This is the Creative Emmy Awards held over the weekend in Los Angeles. HBO's Boardwalk Empire led the pack, taking home 7 prizes. The Creative Emmys honor technical, casting, and other mostly behind-the-scenes achievements. The taped ceremony will air on Saturday, the day before the primetime Emmys air on Fox.
Well, finally tonight, in the midst of all the 9/11 ceremonies over the weekend, we found one that didn't get as much attention, but is definitely worth noting.
This is a special ceremony held in New Jersey's Liberty State Park for the dogs that worked at Ground Zero after the attacks. More than 300 dogs and their handlers searched the rubble looking for possible survivors. No one was rescued alive from the collapse of the Twin Towers, but the dogs alerted first responders to the location of bodies. About 48 of those dogs are still alive.
Thanks so much for watching News 8 at 5. World News with Diane Sawyer is next.
Remember, you can get all the latest information from us at WQAD.com. We'll see you right back here for News 8 at 6 in a half an hour.
From ABC News Headquarters, this is ABC World News with Diane Sawyer.
Good evening and a good new week to you. We begin tonight with the tapes everyone is talking about. Jacqueline Kennedy, the world's most famous and mysterious First Lady, the woman who retreated into silence, refusing interviews, left behind 8.5 hours of audio tape recorded right after her husband's assassination. And tomorrow, only on ABC News, a 2-hour primetime event with video released to us by the Kennedy family. The family also issuing a book about what she revealed. But tonight, we begin with one headline from those tapes. Mrs. Kennedy talking about a moment of terror so many of us remember. The Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962, Soviet missiles so close to America and aimed right here. Many historians argue it was as close as the world has come to nuclear war.
And he said,
It is stunning to hear again that singular, breathy voice as she takes us back to a moment in history when America was one chess move away from all-out nuclear war, everyone terrified by Russian missiles. She hears the tense debate at the White House through a door.
And I went up and listened and eavesdropped. I could hear McNamara saying something, and then I thought, well, I mustn't listen, and I went away. But from then on, it seemed there was no waking or sleeping, and I just don't know which day was which, and I never left the house or saw the children, and when he came home, if it was for sleep or for a nap, I would sleep with him. I said, please don't send me away to Camp David, you know, me and the children. Please don't send me anywhere. If anything happens, which I'd seen, I said, please, then I just want to be on the lawn when it happens. No, but I just want to be with you, and I want to die with you, and the children do too, and live without you.
She is a witness to history who will end up making history herself. She also analyzes all the players on the White House stage, like Lyndon Baines Johnson. She makes it clear she always thought he had his own ambiguous agenda, saying he was picked to be vice president primarily for votes in Texas and to undo his mischievous power in the Senate.
If you'd had him up there with that enormous ego and thwarted and bitter, so nobody was happy about it. Everyone was even amazed that he accepted.
Mm-hmm.
I think